Welcome to the Global Peace Film Festival Lives Online Conversation 2021 Festival Edition. Please join me, Kelly Devine, the Artistic Director, and Nina Strike, the Executive Director, in conversation with Diana Marmorstein, the CEO of harpseals.org. She will be discussing the film Seals and Sea Lions, Scoundrels or Scapegoats, which can be seen as a part of the Free for All Shorts program beginning September the 27th and ending October the 3rd. We also have a very limited in-person screening section, which begins September 21st and runs through September 26th. All the information regarding the festival events can be found at the festival website, peacefilmfest.org. And now let's talk to Diana Marmorstein. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, and thank you for inviting me.
So yes, welcome. And let's start out by talking about why this story is so important and what brought you to make a film to tell the story. Although you are not the filmmaker, tell us about that journey to make this film.
Well, I'm the producer of the film, and we have an organization that started out focused on the harp seal hunt in Canada, and that was now 19 years ago. The hunt used to be very large. Hundreds of thousands of baby seals were killed every year in a matter of weeks when they were only a few weeks to a few months old. It has, thanks to our efforts and others like us, it has reduced in size, but we've been finding in recent years that fishermen on both coasts of Canada have been calling more and more for culls and increased hunting of both seals and sea lions. So not only the harp seals do they want to kill more, but they have been calling for culls of gray seals, of harbor seals and stellar sea lions and California sea lions on the Pacific side. And they're complaining that the fish stocks are dwindling and the seals are to blame. And so we wanted to look into this and see if any of their claims could be true and get the word out. And so our film is our way of getting the word out about what's happening with these increased calls for culls and increased killing of seals and sea lions, and the results of our research and investigation into whether seals and sea lions are a problem. And so we delved into the scientific research on the subject. We interviewed fishery scientists, marine mammal biologists, and extensively, and then put this into this film to go into that question is, are these pinnipeds, they're called pinnipeds, the seals and sea lions, are they problems in the oceans? Are they causing fish stocks to decline? Are they preventing fish stocks from recovering? Is the fisheries management adequate in Canada? Is it competent in Canada? Are the managers doing their part to restore fish stocks? And what is the role that fishermen play in all this? Do they bear any blame in fish stock declines and the failure of many fish stocks to recover? So we spent actually a couple of years interviewing people, researching the subject, reading many journal articles, and synthesizing this into this, I think, poignant and important film on the role of seals and sea lions in the ocean's ecosystems and whether anything needs to be done to manage their populations, whether they're causing problems, and what management should be done, if any.
As a part of deciding to make a film about this, did you, what kind of things did you discover about that process, about translating the scientific studies that you have undertaken and the research that you have undertaken, and translating that into a film that's accessible? And I believe it is a really very clear and accessible film for a layperson to understand all the issues. So can you talk a little bit about how you approach that?
Well, we didn't do the original research. We read research papers and discussed them with some of these fishery scientists extensively. But you are right in that it can be very difficult to present that in a format that is accessible to people who know nothing about fishery science or marine mammal biology. So it took a lot of effort. That's part of the reason why it took so long to be able to whittle it down, to be able to make it understandable, to take out, we took out most of the nomenclature. We did put some in the film to explain what some of these terms are, but really just a few that we thought were important. And the point was to make it easy to understand for everybody. So it was a long process, and it was a lot of back and forth, with between me as a producer and our co-writer and our other co-writer and film editor, filmmaker who does not come from a scientific background. I have a scientific background, not in biology or fishery scientist, but it does help me to be able to read the information, the mathematics, and but between our two heads put together, going back and forth, we were able to make this, to simplify it, to make it accessible to people and clear. And so it just is a long process. That's how I can best summarize it.
Was this the first time that your organization had undertaken creating a film?
It is. We have in the past made shorter videos, commercials and extended sort of commercials that are just a couple of minutes, but we'd never made a film of anything close to this length in the past. So this is our first film. The person who did the filmmaking for us, the video editor, the person who's a professional filmmaker, has a history. So we, of course, needed that kind of professional help.
And what has been the reaction so far, or the impact of creating this film?
Well, we have had almost 1,000 people watch it. And we've been putting ads on Facebook to spread the word. We want to do more of that, but we have, I think, already helped people understand what is going on and why there are so many calls for culls and what the truth is. So I think we have had an impact, but we definitely need to have more of an impact.
Well, and creating an impact is a big part of the organizing principle behind our festival. We curate stories in order to not only illuminate issues, but also to encourage people to take action. And I was wondering if through your organization, you have related calls to action beyond seeing the film.
Absolutely. And we have some of these calls on our website and at the end of the film as well. So we would like people to take the crisis of the oceans really seriously. And there's several actions. For example, we have letters, email letters that people can write to people in Canada who have the power to do the right thing for oceans and fisheries management. Easy one-click type of thing from our website. And we also have a bunch of tips, and we have some at the end of our film, things like reduce or eliminate your consumption of seafood, because fishermen are just catching fish for you and I, for everybody who eats fish. I personally don't eat fish anymore, but if people did not demand seafood, they would not catch seafood. They would not create the bycatch. They would not do the destructive things they're doing to the oceans. So we all can play a role in what we choose to eat. And we have some information on some alternatives to seafood on our film website as well. And there's just so many other things that are causing problems with the oceans that people need to do their part to stop, from using natural pesticides when needed rather than things like Roundup. Not letting your plastics go out into the oceans and the rivers by recycling them, reducing your use of plastics, everything we can do to clean up the oceans, to make them healthy again, to reduce the demand for fishing, which has been so destructive to the oceans. Let these oceans recover. That's the key. We need to treat the oceans as a damaged ecosystem or damaged ecosystems. There's more than one in the ocean. And so we need to help them recover, not in this sort of heavy-handed way of kill this group, and when that causes problems, kill another group off, and when that causes problems, kill another group off. That's not the way to restore the oceans. So we can all do our part. And I would urge people to look at our website and watch the film and use some of these suggestions, take them to heart.
Well, that's a really comprehensive list of things that people can do, and really constructive. And there's something in that list that you just gave for literally everybody who can do, everybody can do something. Is there anything else that audiences can do to support the work? And finally, what's next for you and for the organization?
Well, our goal now is to distribute this film far and wide. So other people can help in many ways, in addition to attending the festival and watching the film. They can actually share it because it is on YouTube, and we need more people to share it, especially with Canadians. Anybody who has friends and family in Canada, we urge you to send them a link to the film, ask them to watch it, and share it with their friends. We also need donations because a lot of the advertising is paid advertising to get it in front of people, through Facebook and other means. So if anybody is able to make a donation, they can do that through our main website, harpseals.org. We don't have a link on the scapegoatseals.org film website, but the main one, harpseals.org, has a donation link. So we're asking people really to help us get this film out there. That's the best way that we can educate people, especially Canadians, where seals and sea lions are being targeted, and where there might at some point be a call if we don't succeed in educating the public.
Well, thank you, Diana. That was, a wealth, as Nina, to echo what Nina said, a wealth of options for people to take positive action, and especially after they see this film and all of the research that underlies the story that is shown. Again, the name of the film is Seals and Sea Lions, Scoundrels or Scapegoats. If you want to learn more, please do go to scapegoatseals.org or go to harpseals.org to learn more and to donate to this organization. To learn more about the programming for the upcoming 2021 Global Peace Film Festival, please go to peacefilmfest.org. And thank you, as always, for listening, and we'll see you at the next Glow.